Hi everyone, it's me. I'm finally doing what I said I would do ages ago in the little Facebook group, and I don't know whether I'm filming this for everyone or just for the Facebook group at this point. So we'll see once it's finished where I want to put it. But I started the little Dream Life group, Dream Life Documented, on Facebook a while ago, and our first chapter, which is Open Your Heart and Dream Without Limits, was started on the 13th of January, and then on the 15th of January I found out I need shoulder surgery, and I kind of shut down for a couple of weeks, and there's a whole video about that, so I'm not going to really go into it. But today is the 27th, which is officially the start of chapter 2, Be Inspired by the Dreams of Others, which I'm super keen to find out about. And so I thought what I would do is just take you through how I started chapter 1, because I have done chapter 1, I just haven't done the exercises yet, and I will do those today. I'm going to do them today. So basically I've read through the introduction. You can see I've made some, I've underlined a few things that spoke to me. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. Sometimes very good to have reminders of things like that. We have here progress, not perfection, which is one of my favorite quotes now. It never used to be. I used to want perfection, always want perfection, but I've learned that that's not always the way to go. So in the book, Christina tells us how we can get the most value out of the book, how we should go about doing it. She says that each chapter should take about an hour, and that she recommends a chapter per week. We've taken a chapter for every 2 weeks, which I'm very grateful for. I mean, I'm the one who decided to do that, but I think it's a good idea because I know how busy work is for people, and certainly for me. And then, life happens, things pop up that have to be dealt with, and so you have to take care of those. So just a little bit about how to do the exercise in the journal. She tells us here that she recommends using the journal, which I have here. I also have the planner, but she does say that you can download some worksheets from kikk.com book resources to get some printables, but otherwise you could just do it in a notebook. Just get any old notepad and do it in there. So chapter 1 begins with, there is no passion to be found playing small in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. Nelson Mandela quote there. And I've just used my gold gel pen to add a little bit of something to chapter 1 here. And it says to open your heart and dream without limits. So I'm obviously not going to read this to you because Christina has written this book for you to read. Ritual. I think that's really important to have a ritual around this, and that's what I was missing for the last 2 weeks. I think I didn't get into a ritual. I would come home at night exhausted from work and not sleeping properly because of shoulder pain, and I would just collapse on the couch and do nothing, and that's not the way to go. Sometimes you have to force yourself. Sometimes you need a break, and I really did. But then other times I think you need to just get into the zone and see what you can do. And for me today, I'm going to put some music on and I'm going to sit and do these exercises that she has in here. So she says time is no limit, just connect with your heart and dream away. So we have the exercises here, and she writes about the exercises, and then in the journal, so this is dream guidance. This is the dream guidance section. You can see the graphic is repeated there, and then she gives us space to write in here. So that's the first stage, and I'm just going to grab my planner as well. Put my little one in there to hold my place. And I haven't been in here since I set it up because I freaked out, and that was the end of that. So I'm going to fill this out today, my commitment to the dream life. She's got a little section on here on working out how much time you can spend. I think the beginning is all just how-tos, yes. And then in this first section on dreaming, we have figure out the best time of the day. And that may not be something I can do today. I may not be able to work that out. And then we have the dream without limits. So your 101 dreams list, which is part of this first chapter as well. So there's 101 dream lists at the back there. So I can put this in either place, of course. I'm probably going to do it in the journal, and I'm probably just going to do it in pencil, I think. And then the rest of the first part of this planner is exploring your purpose and your passion and things like that. But that is in the book as well. So I probably will leave those sections until later. So I think I'll put the planner aside, and I'm going to make my way through the exercises in the journal and the book. So I'm going to leave you for a moment. I'll switch off and go ahead and do this, and then I probably will come back and talk you through what I've done. I don't know, some of it I might want to share. I don't know. I have no idea where this is going to take me. That's why I'm super excited about doing it. But I'm prepared to film and see how we go, and if I can share it, I will. And hopefully you find it interesting, or it can help you even, which would be awesome. So I'll see you soon. Alright everyone, I'm back. I've done this first section of journaling, and I thought I'd share it with you. I feel kind of weird about sharing this. It's a bit personal, but you know what, we're here to do this, so let's do it. I actually didn't answer the questions the way I think she wanted us to. Instead I wrote about what I thought of each question, and then next I'll do the 101 dreams list. So I thought I'd take you through what I wrote. I hope this is not weird. First question was, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? And Christina asks this at every event I've seen her at. She does say this, and it's kind of powerful to think about, I think. But I wondered, am I afraid of failure? What would you do if you knew you could not fail? I don't think that afraid is the right word for me. I guess I'm wary of it. Part of me thinks that if I fail, I've wasted so much time, and it's really hard not to feel that way. But I think we have to feel that way. I think we have to realize that even if you fail, you've learned something. You learn how not to do something, but I think you also learn about yourself as well, and you grow, and I think that's the most important thing. So if I knew I couldn't fail, I guess I would do everything. There's nothing that should hold you back if failure is not an option. I don't know, I just wanted to write a little something about that. So then she asks, what would you do if you had all the money and time you needed? So money and time are the two things we always want more of. But what about all the money and time that we already have? I'm guilty of buying things I don't need, throwing out expired groceries because I bought takeout instead, and that's like a double wastage. And I'm definitely guilty of squandering time on the couch, which sometimes I think it's really necessary to do that, but sometimes it's not. And it's just that it's easier. But you know what? Easier isn't better. So that's what I said about that. What would you do if you had all the skills and knowledge that you needed? So this was a tough one for me because I don't like to think that I don't know anything. You know, I've always got to be right. That's something I don't struggle with, but I think other people struggle with me that way. And I'm trying, not to, say things these days. So of course I don't know everything, but it's something that I don't like. I don't like to know that I don't know everything, if that makes sense. So I'm going to have to put some thought into what skills I'd like to learn. And as I was reading through the next few pages, I did come up with French. I'd like to learn French again. So that's one thing that I would like to learn. So I might put those kinds of learning things into my dreams list as well. What would you do if you had all the courage you needed and all the self-belief that you needed? So I said here, courage and self-belief. Wow, we're tackling the big stuff early. This comes back to fears again, I think, and I've generally prided myself on not really worrying about what other people think, but in some things I really do worry about that. And I think that this one, the self-belief thing, is a big one. So how do we train ourselves to believe that we can do something? That's a skill I need, so I could put that up here as well. I think I need to figure out how to have more belief in myself and knowing that I can really do something if I put my mind to it. Yeah, I don't really know why I have that issue, because I've done a number of things. Other people have said, wow, I can't believe you did that. I made the decision to move from Brisbane to Melbourne on my own, and I just did it. And that was a pretty big deal. I had some friends who lived here, but you know, they have their own lives, so it was a big deal to do that. And you know, other things like that I've managed to do. So I know I can, but you know, there's just that little bit that just holds you back. So that's something. Okay, I had a full memory card, so I had to go away and let that download, which means now we have some shadows that I wasn't quite expecting. But okay, let's move on to question 5. What would you do if you had all the support you needed? I feel like I have a pretty good support system. I have a lot of people who love me, and I'm so thankful for that. But not many of them know about my dreams, my actual dreams. We talk about, you know, some of the things, but I don't think anyone quite understands everything, my aspirations. I think, you know, part of that is because we always get bogged down on the day-to-day and we don't really consider what if. So I'm not sure I even know what all the support you need looks like as it's phrased in this question. I live alone, so that's a different kettle of fish again. So yeah, I'm not sure, and I'm keen to explore. There's a whole section on support, so keen to see what that means. Next question is, what dreams do you already have? And when I got to this, I just wrote and I didn't think about it. And that's the same for most of these, but I was quite surprised at how this came out so easily. I want to write, I want to be a photographer, I want to open a planner supplies shop, I want to inspire others, I want to be a KKK consultant, I want to I want to own my own apartment in the city. So, I already write and photograph, but it's not my day-to-day. I'm a marketing professional and been in sales and marketing for years, 13 years maybe now. So, yeah, not quite sure what that means. Actually, it's 15 years. Right, what have you often wished for but never put in writing? So as I said, I write already. I write a lot, and I've put a lot in writing before, but it's in notes on my phone, and I think the secret there is that I don't look at them. They're in my phone and they're hidden away and I never see them again. But I think if I had to answer this question, what have you wished for but not ever put in writing, it is just to have a happy and content life. And I think surely that's what we all wish for. What have you dreamed about but never shared with anyone else? Well, I said it over here. I've dreamed of being a KKK consultant. I've never told anyone that, but I think that's what I would love to do. I support the brand so much. I love everything it stands for, and I think I'd be good at doing that. So yeah, that's something that is on my radar. Okay, so that was the dreaming big section. So I think what she was hoping for here was that we would write down things, actual dreams, but I really wanted to just explore how I felt about each question, and I always do things differently. So that's how I've done that. The next section is dreaming deeply, and I guess I'll take you through these. It says look deeply into your heart and consider the following questions about your dream life and how it would be different to your life today. So it says, what would you start doing? I'd spend a lot more time looking after myself. I don't really do that. I'd spend more time with friends. I'd visit my family more. I'd write every day, and I'd work less. I don't know if that's things I'd start. There's things I already am doing, but I don't do enough of, I guess is what I'm getting at there. And I realised that when I got to question 3. But anyway, we'll come to that. What would you stop doing? I'd stop putting work first. It is almost always work first for me. I'd stop making excuses, and they just usually revolve around I have to work. And I'd stop waiting for other people. I don't really want to go into that one. How would you spend your time? I'd spend my time with those I love and who love me. I'd spend my time on myself, and I'd spend my time helping others. What would you do for work? I've said I'd like to be doing a variety of things, but within each of them, I'd want to be inspiring people, writing, photography, and creating things. So then it asks, what experiences would you have? And I couldn't pinpoint single experiences. I think probably later I will be able to, but for now I can't really. So I've just said words that I'd like those experiences to be, which is fun, happy, learning, and with people I love. So yeah, I think that will come out in the next section, I guess. Where would you travel? I mean, everywhere, and I've been to Paris and Amsterdam before, but those are two of my favourite places. But I'd also like to travel to Japan and Canada, but really most places I would travel to. Okay, question 7. What would you buy? I don't know. I don't know what I would buy, but it maybe comes out later in another question that I'll get to. And what would your purpose be? I've said to delight and inspire. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like this sounds like, being full of yourself a little, but that's what I want to do. I want people to be delighted by me and inspired by me. I don't know. Where would you live? I'd live here in Melbourne, or maybe Paris. What would you surround yourself with? And I've said the people I love. Beautiful curated art and furniture, so I guess that's what I would buy. My own photographs. I do really enjoy my own, especially macro photography. And plants. I love plants. I need to have plants around me. How would you feel and act? And that was hard. I said happy, content, confident, and approachable. I don't really know what else to say there. So then the next questions I thought were a bit too personal to share, so sorry about that. I'm going to keep those to myself. And now the next thing I have to do is work on my 101 million God, that's too many. My 101 dreams. And when I did the Dream Life Masterclass last year, 2017 now, 2018, as part of that, Christina got us to actually turn to the page in the book, 22 I think it is, and start writing our 101 dreams. Please ignore Kizzy, I have no idea what she's doing. So I have a list, and I thought I would take you through my list. I haven't looked at this list since 2018, so here goes. Number 1, be at peace in myself. Number 2, take my time each day to appreciate each minute. That's pretty hefty. Be a freelance photographer, a social media consultant. Create every day. That's a big one for me. I'd love to be able to just create every day. I've said work at Kiki K. Be a writer and publish a book. Travel the world. Teach French children English in France. That's something that I've wanted to do since I was about 12, I reckon. So it's got extra little smiley face because of that. Be surrounded by my friends and family every day. That's a tough one because my family is 3,000 kilometers away. Be able to just take a day for myself. That should not be hard, right? But it's hard. Work 4 days a week. Seems so simple. Give my mum a new back, which seems impossible. It is impossible, I guess. To feel free. Drive somewhere really fast. So she does say to be silly in here, and that's what I've done. Take weekends away. Another one that seems so simple, but you think, oh, it's too expensive, or I don't have time, or whatever. Some friends and I did this recently, and it was the best weekend, and it's not hard, really. It's just... The best thing is we committed to it like 2 months prior or something, so we paid really early, and then by the time that the thing came, we had, it was like free money. Not really, but get a cleaner. So simple. When I used to travel for work, I had a cleaner. Just once a fortnight, she would come in for about 3 hours, and she would change seats, do all the floors and bathrooms and kitchen, and it would be like a new apartment every time, a new house every time. So that's not out of the realm of possibilities, is it? And how can something so simple be a dream? But I just feel like I wanted to put down everything that was in my head, and I think that was the purpose of this exercise. Buy my own apartment in Melbourne, which is, I've said just in those previous pages. See the people I love more often. Again, the distance is a problem there. Interestingly, I said stop caring what other people think. I don't think I do, but I must, right? And I guess we all do in some way or another. Listen to myself more often. Oh, that's a tough one. And it shouldn't be. Take a hot air balloon ride. Simple again, I guess. But I don't know about that one. I've heard some horror stories since I wrote this, and I don't know if that's on my list anymore. Let's question mark that one. I'm not sure. But what an experience that would be, hey? Photograph the Northern Lights. Photograph Alaska. I'd like to do that from like a cruise. The ice. Oh, I can't. That sounds amazing to me. Invent super fast travel to see faraway friends and family. Could you imagine just being in Melbourne, getting into some little machine, and then, hey presto, half an hour later you're in Amsterdam. Wow, wouldn't that be great? And that would make me a fortune, I think. Spend less time at work. So up here I said work 4 days a week. I said take a day for myself. And I've said spend less time at work. So I can sense a bit of a theme there. Exhibit my photos. I have photographer friends who exhibit their work, and they tell me to do mine as well, and I have just never got around to it. So yeah, seems simple. Yeah. So that's it. That's my first 26 of my 101 dreams. So I'm going to put some music back on and make my way through the rest. See if I can get to 101. I don't care if I don't get to 101 because I feel like this is something that will just evolve with us. I think we can come back and add them later. I was just in our little Facebook group and saw that Cindy said she's having some very bad back pain at the moment and is having trouble writing, and I soon will have my right arm in a sling, so I won't be able to write much myself, and she's doing voice memos, and I think that's a brilliant idea. We almost always have our phones with us, right? So we can easily just record little voice memos on there. So many ways that we can make the world go round. So that's it. That's chapter 1 done and dusted, apart from finishing off the 101 million dreams. How are you going? We're in the group, so we're all talking about it all the time. I think we all know that we're getting through it. Most of us can't get the 101 at the moment, but we'll get there. But I like it. I'm enjoying it so far. It seems pretty cool. So the next step for me is to start chapter 2 after I've done some more dreams. And I think I can think of a few based on what I've written in the answers to the questions. So then I'll start reading chapter 2 tonight, I think, because I'm inspired at the moment to do this. And I'm also wanting to just have a little go through my planner and fill out some bits and pieces that relate to that chapter 1. So I think I'll probably share that with you next time, because I think I want to take my time with that. And I'll just share that with you when I come back for chapter 2. Okay, guys, I think that's it. Oh, no, one more thing. Remember a little while ago I did a giveaway of this diary, this 2020 Dream Life Diary, and I'm very happy to announce that Lorraine has won the diary. Here is Lorraine on Instagram, late to the planner party, and Lorraine has won this beautiful hardbound diary, so I will be sending that off to her shortly. So congrats, Lorraine. She is in the group, and we are all on our way to our dream life. So look out for this. It'll probably be slow getting there, I suspect, because she's in the UK, but it is lovely, and I hope you really enjoy it on your little dream life journey. Okay, that's really it this time. Thanks, guys. I'll see you all again super soon. Bye.